What's going on, YouTube? Matt from GarageMC here. Guys, it's time for part 3. I found another head on the shelf, and this one's already ported and polished, not by me, but the valves that were in it were like... Let me show you. Here's one exhaust valve, guys. I really don't think we need to put this one in the drill to spin it to see if it's bent. It's like a friggin', what's that, about 15-degree angle if you were to measure it. Yeah, the intakes weren't really much better. They weren't as bent, but, so, stick around. I just cleaned up the head, re-lapped in some new valves. Well, not new, they were used, but they're good OEM valves I had laying around, and, put some new exhaust gaskets in it, and, let's get this thing bolted on a quad. This way we can, like, maybe take this thing for a rip in the next episode on this. That's why we're gonna make it part 4, because we're gonna go over a few things putting the cylinder head on. Stay tuned. So, I'm not going to show you guys the head that I'm porting and polishing for whoever's going to win that. And don't worry, guys, there's still time. You could still, you know, go back to, I think the video I just posted on the 2-seater go-kart. You'll get in more detail on what you got to do to win the port and polished head that I'm building, which is, it's right there. I'm not going to show it to you yet, though. But anyway, so... I did a quick resurfacing on this, guys. Got it nice and flat again. Just decarboned the combustion chamber. Really didn't even bother cleaning out the exhaust ports. I did put new crush washers in there for the exhaust. This is what happens to them once you get all cranking down on them and stuff like that. So, you guys have an exhaust leak by the head, change these, man. They're cheap. You get like, you can get both of these and the lead gasket that goes on a factory silencer. I think it's like 15 bucks or something, dude. 10, 15 bucks, 12 bucks, somewhere around there. But yeah, just cleaned everything up, lapped in some valves. You guys can see I got some of my assembly lube in here from putting the new valves into the valve guides and everything. We got our dowels in here. I cannot find an extra decompressor pin and spring around, so it looks like I'm going to have to go ahead and throw a stage 2 hot cam in this thing for testing, which is cool because it's got, you know, it's got an exhaust on it and everything, and this head is ported. I'll show you guys. Somebody did port this head. How good or who did it, I don't know. Doesn't look like they did too good. They left an imperfection in it and everything, but you guys can see that on camera there. But it is knife edged. I don't know how much material's taken out, because like I said, I didn't do this one, guys. But none of the valve guides were shaved down or anything like that, so this I just cleaned up with some aluminum brightener and some degreaser and sent it. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to send it. Let's put this thing on the damn quad. Before we get into putting this on the quad, guys, and I do have, I set the gasket down and the 2 dowels, so those are in there already. But I'll go over step by step with you guys, the order of how this goes on with torque specs and everything, and how I do it with timing. One other thing I just didn't mention, guys, I also resurfaced where the intake boot goes. That's all on one level plane. Right there. So same thing I do. If you guys are curious on how to take valves and springs out and lap valves in, and how I resurface here right in the garage with something that would maybe cost you about 15 bucks to make and do, I have a video on that already, so you guys can go back and check that one out. It was entitled Rebuilding and Resurfacing a Cylinder Head 400ex. Go through my playlist, guys. I have over 100 and something videos, so go ahead and check out some of my older videos, guys. There's a lot out there. I know a lot of my newer videos are getting, you know, a good amount of views for my channel, and some of my older ones you guys may have not even seen yet. You know, they only have like 100 to 300 views on them, so go check them out, man. Drop a comment too, guys. As the channel's getting bigger, I've been getting a lot of comments lately, guys. I'm trying to keep up with answering them all, but it's like I could literally sit down for 6 hours and not have them all answered. So if you guys don't get a response as fast as I normally do them, don't take it personally. It's like an overwhelming amount, and I appreciate it, believe me. Go ahead and put a comment down on this video too, if you want. And always, give me a thumbs up, man. If you're not subscribed yet, what are you doing? Just hit the damn subscribe button. It's only $100 a week. You know, it's cheap. No, it's free. Smash the subscribe button, especially if this is more than the first video you've seen with me. All right, let's get into putting this head. on the quad. One thing to note, guys, when you are doing work like this, maybe even if you have a problem and your quad's running a little lean or it's popping, or even no matter how much you mess with the jets, the intake boot on these, there's an O-ring behind these, guys, and it seats up against this portion of the head here. So you can look at, here's the one that was just in this. You just take it out with a pick. It is literally flat, and look at this thing. It's like a friggin' potato chip, guys. That's supposed to be a rubber O-ring. Look at that. It is shot. So what one actually looks like before it's shot is right here. Whenever you get a gasket kit, if you get a complete gasket kit, you'll notice it comes with a lot of O-rings. Like these 4 here are for the rocker cover inspection caps. So 1 for each. But yeah, if you're having a problem with your quad running lean, guys, you might want to take that out and check this. I'll put a little tiny bit of waterproof grease in there just to help it seal and keep it nice and pliable. Obviously you can see what happened to this one. It was crushed and it was rock solid, dry as hell. All right, so let me get that set up. I'll get the boot on, and like I said 3 times already, let's get that on the damn quad. Now, guys, it should just keeps just popping up and screwing my plans up. I started what you guys obviously just seen the past couple minutes in this video, working on 2006. We're getting this thing together and running today. A couple deals popped up, and I want to show them to you guys. Not going to give you guys any hints on anything, or what parts we got. Neither one is a whole quad, but let's I don't know if you could guess maybe what parts I got, but we got like literally a truckload of parts the past 2 days. So let's check them out real quick. So if you didn't notice this already, we got this. This is a Banshee front grille and gas tank covers. Guys, I got all these parts for a screaming deal. And by a truckload, I mean a truckload. So what we have is obviously the grill and the gas tank covers. We got 2 OEM gas tanks, the radiator, a good set, a whole front set of A-arms, hubs, spindles, knuckles, everything, shocks. We got another set that are like incomplete. Got 1 headlight assembly. That's good. We got the front brake master cylinder, lever, the kill switch, ignition, all that stuff. The side plastics like the heel guards, got a couple, well, 1.5 sets anyway. OEM grab bar, foot pegs, 1 handlebar, 1 Banshee steering stem and handlebar, 2 Banshee steering stem and handlebar with the front brake reservoir and lines. This one's a little shorter, so I think that one's for a blaster. Like I said, 2 OEM gas tanks. We got the airbox with the lid, rear shock with the linkage. We have a full swing arm, axle carrier, axle, hubs, rotor, sprocket, which is completely shot. We have another one, but you might get a slight wobble if you use that. So, but it's got, a good sprocket hub. It's got the carrier, and it's got hubs. Thumb throttle, the oh so sought after Taurus system, reservoir tank. We got the slides for the carbs. These are top quality here, guys. A little wire brush action. Then be ready to go. And we got the cases, and the transmission was left outside along with the clutch basket and hub and everything. Maybe we'll do a little experiment and see if we can get those clean. Probably not going to be good anymore, but who knows? They might clean up. It is hardened steel. Unless it's like really pitted, then we'd be screwed. Got the stator cover, and like I said, the cases. And the other deal that I just picked up last night, which is kind of funny because I used to own this quad, and now it came back home. Guess what it is? Bam! 400ex. This one is ready to ride and pristine. It's got the clear plastic mods, clear seat, clear A-arms, clear axle, clear gas tank. Yeah. Guys, I got this for like nothing. I got this for my time to go pick it up. So Obviously, it's got a good engine. The frame is good. The subframe, somebody cut. You guys may remember this quad. This is the one we stole the axle and stuff from for Old Smokey in the 400ex × 8 video. But more stuff, guys. I don't know. And there's more coming too. I got a trade coming up this week you guys will like. But all right, let's get into this finally. Matt, shut the hell up and get to work. We are going to need to dig some spare parts out. We were missing the upper motor mount bolt with the bushings. Being somebody cut that decompressor part off of the cam, which this is what it's supposed to look like here, guys. Hold on, let me get this out of the damn bag here. That's good, just drop that on the ground. Here's the decompressor part that was cut off of it. So I'm going to put this one in there, and I just so happen to have a decompressor pin and spring. Let's see, other stuff we're going to need. This is a box of all OEM takeoff stuff from 400ex's. You guys thought I was kidding when I said just throw those in a box. There's another cam in there. We need those washers that go under the nuts that bolt the head down. I think I see a couple in here. So, put this to the side. I'm going to clean this up before it goes on. It's going to be a waste of my time, but whatever. Alright, so, let's see here. We need... here we go. Here's one. That's the one that goes by the exhaust. 2. And I think I have 2 over there, but yeah, here we go. This is the other one I needed right there. All right, so get these parts over there. I clean this motor mount bolt up. Alrighty, yep, here we go. So I got an exhaust one inside the rocker cover, and I need these 2. So this one can go back into the collection of 400ex takeoff stuff. No, none of this stuff's for sale, guys. I keep it around for this reason here. All right, let me clean these parts up and we'll get this on. Before I put the cylinder head on, I will visually and manually put the piston at top dead center just so I know 100% sure it's there. But before the head goes on, obviously you put your head gasket on. You got to put the other chain slider in before the head goes on, so it gets slid in here, and I'll show you. Here's another 400ex. This hook part on the bottom must go in to right here. That's what locks that in, because this one stays stationary. It's not adjustable like the other one is, so it goes just like that. Let me get you guys on the tripod, and then we will start putting the cylinder head on finally. So one thing to note, this forward chain slider goes in before the head gasket. You put that in, then your head gasket, and you want to make sure you have both of your dowels in. These dowels are very important. They center the head gasket, and they also center where the head has to go. Everything has assembly lube in it, so naturally when we first start the quad, it's going to smoke a little bit. This head here that I have, guys, this is not the one that is the giveaway one. I just cleaned it up real quick and threw some valves in it. New crush washers for the exhaust, new O-ring on the intake boot like I showed you guys before. But now we are ready to put the head on. So, I usually just take a little piece of wire and put it around the timing chain. If you do drop the timing chain down in there, guys, it's not the end of the world like people make it sound. You can fish it out of there with a hooked pick or a magnet. Obviously the more stuff you build on top of the cylinder, the harder it's going to be to, reach down there and get it. But like I said, guys, it's not the end of the world if you drop the timing chain down in there. It's not a big deal. This engine still has the messed up rear timing chain slider in it. It's a little chewed away from that manual tensioner that is on this quad. Not a big deal though. I don't recommend leaving it like that, but as you guys know, we are just slapping this together to test out the gears. Yeah, we could have tested it just, by feeling it, but what fun is that? YouTube, so we're getting a couple videos out of this. And if you guys are going to do this, don't use a metal hammer. Just use like a rubber mallet, or like what I'm doing, just to get it started and seated down on there. Sometimes it's a little bit of a pain in the ass, what's holding us up here? Our dowel pins are holding us up, guys. Let me go ahead and seat the rest of this, and then we'll get into torque specs and putting the cam and getting the timing set. All right, so now that we have the head seated down on the dowels, the gasket, I got our timing chain up here. Next thing I'm going to reach for here, guys, is our washers that go under these Eggcorn nuts. This is what comes factory. These are 14 millimeter. If you take yours apart, you'll probably notice that one of the four is rusty and has a thicker washer. That's obviously the one that's on the outside of the quad, so that goes up here by the front. I mean, they're all the same Eggcorn nuts, but the washer is thicker that goes up here. So we'll go ahead and get that started. And the other three are matching. They're not as large as that one. You want to be careful putting this one on over here, guys, because if you drop that down in the engine, you know, probably get it out with a magnet, but it's definitely not going to be fun, just to, you know, to say the least. All right, so we'll put all these on here, being extremely careful not to drop this down into the engine. Is it the end of the world if you drop it down there? Yes, actually it is. The whole world will end if you drop that nut down in there, or the washer. Now these are the same exact torque specs as the cylinder. It's 33 foot-pounds, but not, like I said, in one go. You go to 15 first, and then you go to 33 as per the Climber manual. This one's a little bit of a pain in the butt to get to, but we'll take our socket, and I usually run these down by hand first. Get these all going here, and you want to do these in a crisscross pattern. I believe, in my opinion, the reason you go to 15 and you do it and then 33 in two different goes helps everything seat, because the head gasket is a multi-layer head gasket, and it gives it a chance for it to seat properly. So here's the first run, 15, in a crisscross. Like I've said before, guys, depends on the build I'm doing. This is just stock bore, but sometimes I'll do it in 3 different torque settings. Like I'll do 15, then 25, and then I'll go to 33 or 34, maybe 35, depending on the build, like I said. All right, so now we're going to jump up to 33 foot-pounds, and we're going to do a crisscross pattern again. $33, and I will double check these too, guys. Alright guys, so now that we're all torqued down to spec with the cylinder head bolts, the next thing I'm going to go for, first I'm going to take a little drop of assembly lube, and I'm going to put it in the hole over here on the side by the timing chain where the decompressor spring and pin goes. There was no pin or spring in this engine when I first got it. Actually, while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and give us a little assembly lube on the top of our valves here. A little generous amount, if you will. Also going to do where the journals are. Just going to do a little bit of that there. And you also want to make sure that you have your 2 dowels that hold the cam, the locating dowels. I will take you guys off the tripod and show you all these sections here real quick. This is one dowel here, this one, and then you also have this one here. You got to make sure those are in there. They're very important. Obviously, if you're dealing with a machine that was caked in RTV, you want to make sure that your oil veins where the oil gets supplied to the head are clear. This one here runs all the way down the cylinder and then into the cases to the oil filter. That's this embossment here. And this here, that's where the oil gets supplied up to the head. Then it goes through the hollow cam. I explained that in the other video, so if you guys want to know a little bit more in detail what that is, go ahead and check that video out. This is part 3 of this. Part 2 was putting the cylinder on. Part 1 was disassembling it and finding all the stuff that was wrong in this engine. So, all right, like I said, this quad didn't have a decompressor pin in it because somebody, previous owner, this is not an aftermarket cam. Somebody just cut the decompressor part off of the cam. I'll show you the difference here of what they look like. Here is one that still has the decompressor, this section here, and it operates in sync with that pin and spring that go in the head, which we are going to install right now. Here's what the decompressor spring and pin look like. The spring goes in first, and then this pin goes in second. It's the same on both sides. It really, I'll give you a little contrast here. It's the same on both sides. It's hollow, so either way, but the spring does go in first. Also, same thing, same way, both up and down. Make sure you do not drop this in the engine either, or you could probably go ahead and kiss that one goodbye. All right, and then the pin just sits right on top of it. So you want to make sure your the hole here is clean and unobstructed. The pin should go up and down freely. So, you know, get that assembly lube worked in it pretty good. That's all there is to that. All right, so next thing that goes in, we're going to make sure our cam journals are nice and lubed, even where the bearings go. This all ready to receive the new stuff. Alrighty, so I'll wipe the rest of that on the valves here. I like to try and keep stuff clean as I'm going here, guys. But sometimes it just is what it is, you know? Alright, so now after that, we have our cam. This is going to get ready to go in. I have to clean these bearings off pretty good here real quick, guys. I already cleaned them, but just from sitting on the workbench here for the past couple days, because I've had a ton of stuff going on the past few days. Got some pretty cool stuff you guys haven't seen yet either that came in. Not counting those parts that I showed you earlier in the video. All right, so with the cam, you have two bearings. You have one that is completely open-ended on both ends, and then you have one that is a sealed bearing, but only on one side. The sealed bearing goes on the right side of the quad. The open one goes on the left side of the quad. The sealed part faces out of the engine, so it will face the right. So it'll go in there like this, not like this, the way that it was in the quad when I first got it. So your sealed bearing goes on the decompressor side of the cam like that, and then the other one, either way, same, either way. You just put that on there like that, and like I said, you want to make sure you have your locating dowels in there, and this just gets seated in there like that. Go ahead and spin this around a little bit. Let's get a little more assembly lube on that, at least where the journals go, but we will put some on the lobes as well before we we'll put it on there right now. It's fine. All right, so now that we and the reason for assembly lube, guys, unless you're going to prime the engine before you start it by spinning the flywheel bolt on the other side, if you're on that side, it's counterclockwise, so it rotates towards the front of the quad. So if you're on the left side of the quad and you're looking at the stator cover, stator, whatever, it's counterclockwise. So if we were on this side of the engine, obviously it would be clockwise. So we'll just go ahead and move this around a little bit, let some of that oil get all up in there. If it's something that I really cared about, guys, I would put some oil in the cam, because the cam is hollow. This, like I was explaining to you guys in one of my previous videos, all these holes that are here on the cam, and the cam being hollow, the oil gets fed up through here. That's why there's a sealed bearing here. Otherwise, it would just shoot the oil down the timing chain hole, and it lubricates everything. And then when it pressurizes, it blows the oil up onto the rockers and everything in there. Next, that's going to go on the quad is the cam chain gear, cam gear, timing gear. It has 3 horizon marks on it. Well, 2 horizon marks, 1 straight up mark, and then on the other side is out. You're gonna have to pick the cam back up and put the gear on. So you can only do one bolt at a time. The out right here, so when you're setting your timing and you're at top dead center, the lobes of the cam should be, lobes meaning the lobes, obviously, they should be facing straight down towards the piston. That's how timing gets set on these. So the out should be down with the lobes. So these two hash marks here, these are your horizon marks. Those should be level with the mating surface of the head where the rocker cover bolts down. I'm going to put this on here right now, and then this is one of the reasons why we put the piston all the way at the top of the stroke. So I know I'm definitely at top dead center, or you could go on the other side through the timing inspection marks. Obviously, I just like to put it there, so it's one less step that has to be done. So let me go ahead and get this set up, and I will get you guys the torque specs for these two. I believe they're 6mm Allen head bolts. They look like this here. These two bolts here. I believe they're 5 or 6. It might be a 5. I'll double check and I'll let you guys know, obviously, because I'm gonna need to put them on. So, all right, let me get this set up here, guys. You're just gonna want to pick the cam back up. Like I said, the out goes down where the lobes are. She's being a little sticky girl with all that assembly lube on there. So it can go on both ways, so you want to be careful and have it set up the proper way here. You could put the 2 bolts on now, but you know, it's just whatever. So anyway, let me get the chain out of my chain. I'm stuttering. Get the chain unhooked here, and we can go ahead and wrap it around the cam gear. Get that part done as well, if it will allow me to. Sometimes, guys, it'd be great to have 3 hands. You'd look a little funny, but you sure would get some shit done, let me tell you. Alright, you could take the bearing off if it makes it easier for you. Just let this go down in there like that. And come on, don't be a bitch. Alright, so we'll just get it over to gear for now, and then we'll get the timing set up. You just got to mess with it a little bit, man, but I will set this up, and then I'll show you guys how those horizon marks are supposed to be, and we'll go from there. Alright, guys, so here's where the horizon marks are. You're going to want to do this before you put your timing chain tensioner in, so you want it a little loose. So without that on there, you can't really see with this dowel in the way, but this horizon mark is just slightly below the mating surface of the cylinder head to the rocker cover, and this one over here is obviously slightly above it. So when you put the timing chain tensioner in over here, it's going to push against the chain here, which is going to tighten it, and it will level those out. So I have the first bolt in now. I'm going to go over to the other side of the engine, and I'm going to turn it counterclockwise to get to the other bolt, because you can't put both in at the same time, obviously, because you just can't get to them. Let me walk around this way. Stuff everywhere in here. It's a disaster. And the rocker cover's on, not on yet, so obviously you're not moving any of the valves at this time. Alright, so now we're over to the other bolt, hitting compression here. Alright, leave it there for a second. And I usually do these by hand, guys. I believe it's 15 foot-pounds for the 2 bolts that go on the cam gear. I will edit in the actual torque spec if you guys are like me and want to know. I will, this engine, if you guys want, you can use blue Loctite on this too, or red if you want, but like I said, I usually just do these by hand, guys. I think it's like 15 foot-pounds. I'm going to double check real quick, and we will do the actual torque spec on this, but I usually just do them by hand. And we're just testing this engine out anyway, guys, just for the gears. So I really don't care at the moment. We're probably literally going to ride this quad for all of 15 minutes. And then it's going to get completely stripped back down. But like I said, I will put the proper torque spec in, over the screen here for you guys. And then the next part that's going to go on is going to be our rocker cover gasket and the rocker cover. Why am I spinning freely here? What is going on here? Well, guys, shit just went completely wrong. I'm sitting here like, you know, there's no way I could pull this all back apart and put it all back together and get this video out to you guys tonight. So let me show you what happened, man. This is one of them things where I knew better, and I should have just took the damn clutch cover off and put a new chain slider in it, where the one where the cam chain tensioner goes, because it was all chewed up from that manual tensioner they put on there. But it probably just popped off the gear down in the bottom end, the primary drive gear. But should have just did what I was going to do in the first place, you know. Kind of screwed myself, because I told you guys we're going to get this together and we're going to go ride it before we tear it down, and we still are, but it's going to turn into another video now. Actually, it's not that bad, because the video I posted on the 01 400ex non-reverse engine, the one where I did the clutch cover and putting a new timing chain in, that video did like, I think it's like my best video as far as views go. So, I mean, this is a reverse model, so there are a couple extra little things in there to take care of. So, it looks like we're going to be doing that in the next video, guys. Next video, though, we're going to tear it all back down. Going to take the clutch cover off. Well, we'll at least take the cylinder head off so we can get access to getting the timing chain in there and everything. But, like, check out what happened, guys. This is not supposed to just freely spin like that. The chain is loose as hell, and that's not just from, you know, it's loose as hell. It's not just from not having the tensioner in. That's, it popped off the gear, guys, down in the bottom end. So, my own fault, you know. Like I said, I wasn't even going to post this video after this just happened, but I show you guys the mess ups, man. You know, God only knows, man. Maybe that gear in there is stripped out or what. I don't know. We're going to have to pop the clutch cover off, so I mean, at least in this video, you guys got to see how to set timing and the torque specs for the head and everything. But, yeah. Let me know, you know, if you're pissed off that I put this out, you know, which I'm sure you guys aren't. You guys are pretty loyal to the channel, and you guys like some of the content. So, it just looks like we're going to get another video out of this quad, guys. Just is what it is. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. At least you guys got to check out some of the parts we got. I'm not even going to tell you what I paid for all those Banshee parts. You guys aren't even going to believe me. Like a tank of gas. That's what I got all that shit for, guys. You know, it's from a buddy of mine. I hook him up with stuff. He hooks me up with stuff. It's just how it goes, man. You know, you build a good rapport with people, and you do good business all the time, and you get stuff just comes to you, man. It's like karma, you know. Do good shit happens. I'm not one of those people, you know, that are into all that shit, but it just seems to look that way. But anyway, thank you for watching. If you guys haven't yet, please throw me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, and you're still here watching, listening to me talk still, smash the damn subscribe button. It's free. You know, we're getting there with the channel, guys. It's going places. This is just little stupid shit that we're doing. But it is educational, but it's mainly for entertainment. So, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video, which I'm going to start making right now after I get this one up. And I'll see you in the garage next time.